The title of this video is Why Aren't You Happy? And the reason why I gave it that title was because I found this amazing little book called How to Make Your Life Work, or Why Aren't You Happy? Now, this is a really cool vintage book that I found at a thrift store the other day, which, by the way, is one of my all-time favorite ways to manifest things. This book is from 1974. Says right there, this is the book you've been waiting for. So, like I said, one of my favorite ways to manifest things is by finding them at thrift stores. I'll get an idea in my head of like what I want, especially when it comes to books. And I have found some amazing hardcore spiritual books that are really hard to find, out of print books. If you try to find them on eBay and stuff, people are asking 70, 80, sometimes over $100. I always find them at a thrift store or a garage sale or an estate sale if I'll just put it in my mind what I want, and then a day or two later go to a thrift store, I'll find it. It's amazing. It's happened so many times that it's no longer coincidence. It's fun, and I feel like the universe likes that because the universe uses kind of like what's available to you, and the fact that thrift stores have things that are just readily available. They don't have to be bought. You don't have to spend a lot of money on them. They're things that are just laying around in people's homes that they donate, and then it seems like it's easy for the universe to kind of manifest that for you. So that's just a little tip there. Maybe give it a try if you're the kind of person that loves going to thrift stores, flea markets. Put something in your head and manifest it, and then go to a thrift store or a flea market, and I guarantee you'll probably find it there. So that's just a little thing that I like to do. But anyway, this book, How to Make Your Life Work, or Why Aren't You Happy, was written by Ken Keyes Jr. in 1974. I didn't know anything about this man, but this little book I found at a thrift store, and you can read it through in just about 30 minutes. It's very just short. There's goofy little illustrations, um, just fun. It's just a neat little book. There's not very many words on the pages, which is good because it's very simple, very easy to understand. But honestly, this here, one of the most deeply profound spiritual books that has produced more amazing results in my life than really I think any other book that I've read. And I've read a ton of books. I am an avid reader of anything spiritual, and this simple little book here has changed my life. So I wanted to do a little video series here. It's not going to take long at all to read through this, and I just thought we'd go ahead and start today. So it's called How to Make Your Life Work, or Why Aren't You Happy? And the first page here, you have this little drawing, and these little drawings are all throughout the book. Just very simple, but very cool. Very simple, profound message here. So it says, when you are given a gift, it often comes with directions. A stereo comes with an instruction book. A car comes with an operating manual. Your life is a gift. Would you like to know how to make your life work? We mean really work well. No more anxiety, anger, fear, jealousy, irritation, resentment, boredom, suffering, unhappiness. You don't think it's possible, do you? Ha! It's just because you were never given directions with which to do it. The first step in learning how to do it is to realize that the way you now try to improve your life will always keep you bouncing like a yo-yo between happiness and unhappiness. If you are not continuously happy 100% of the time, it means that you are simply stumbling through life and not taking full advantage of the potential which has been locked in your head since the time you were born. And I love this little illustration. This little guy, his head is a yo-yo. Do you know even one person who is continuously happy? If you do, that person is using his higher consciousness. People who continually use their higher consciousness never experience the disappointment of unfulfilled expectations. We know you try hard. We know you're a good person. So what's wrong? People who are unhappy don't know why they are unhappy. If they knew why unhappiness happens, they would start correcting the situation so that they would be happy. But they don't, because they don't know what causes unhappiness. The cause of unhappiness is not a mystery. It's actually quite simple. Since you have read this far, perhaps you are now ready to study the cause of unhappiness, all unhappiness, so you can get on with being happy 100% of the time. Yes, 100% of the time. Even in situations that used to make you miserable, sickness, money shortage, calamity, uncaring people, lost love, etc., etc. Ready? It will sound so simple that you may dismiss it all too quickly, without really understanding how it applies to the very special conditions of your particular life. But doing it is not so simple. It takes a strong man or a strong woman. Here it is. You automatically trigger feelings of unhappiness when the people and situations around you do not fit your expectations. In other words, expectations create your unhappiness. It's your emotion-backed demands that make you suffer. It's not the world, the people around you, or even yourself. Let's call these demands and expectations addictions. An addiction is something conditioned into your body or mind, which, if not satisfied, automatically triggers a negative emotion. Anger, fear, jealousy, anxiety, resentment, sorrow, etc. All emotion-backed demands are addictions, and addictions are the sole cause of unhappiness. Then you've got this I love. Check this out. I love this little book. Who told you that you must automatically act like a robot and get uptight if the outside world does not fit your inner programming? Are you going to let the world and the people around you control your life? Do you let your happiness depend totally on the outside world? The outside world can never make you unhappy. Only you can create your unhappiness. For example, you don't have to upset yourself if someone criticizes you. There's no law which requires you to be afraid of anything and trigger the emotion of fear, inadequacy, or anger. You don't have to make yourself irritated if the people you are with don't do what they promised. You've probably been spending your life trying to manipulate the outside world in order to be happy. Well, has it worked? Are you happy 100% of the time? Have you ever succeeded in controlling the world to such a degree that it could not make you unhappy and could never again make you unhappy at any time in the future? Your ego tells you that people are doing it to you, but you are really doing it to yourself. When you get into the science of happiness, you learn that there is the outside event, and then there is your inside programming, which determines your response to the outside event. You know how life is. You win some and you lose some. And when you lose sufficiently often, you can generate lots of suffering in your life. This is because you have not trained your biocomputer, your mind, so that it will not automatically trigger anger, fear, or unhappiness when the people and things around you do not fit the elaborate programming you have stored in your head. Perhaps no one ever fully explained how you can use that marvelous biocomputer to do the job properly. After all, every computer requires some operating skills to make the best use of all the wonderful things which it can do. The society in which you were raised led you to believe that you could win consistently enough to live a happy life if you had more money, more prestige, more knowledge, more hobbies, more sex partners, more stuff that you can buy in stores. You really accumulated a lot of stuff, didn't you? So, are you always happy? Always? Are you really in love with living? Are you in love with the prospect of facing each and every day of your life? Each new day can be an interesting adventure, so let's learn how to enjoy every new day. Always. Always. And he's got this amazing, check this picture out. So we'll stop there and pick this up in the next video. It's not going to take long at all. We're already over a quarter of a way through this little book, but it is life-changing. I'm telling you. I mean, you guys remember the book The Secret made a huge splash in the world when it got published, but it didn't really go into detail on how happiness works, how acquiring all this stuff that you manifested, there's not really happiness in that. This gets into really how to live a happy life, regardless of how much stuff you have accumulated or manifested or anything. But the point here that I love about what we just read was when he said, there's no law written that says you have to respond in anger or feel inadequate or suffer at all. There's no law that says you have to respond in a certain way, or like when someone says something to you, you just automatically get angry. Your heart rate raises and you feel yourself getting angry. It's almost like we think it's a law. That like when somebody says something that doesn't jive with what we've got in our head, we have to respond in anger, or we have to feel anger and emotion over it. We don't. There's no law that says you have to let anything make you upset or angry. And that's a simple thing to read and to say, and we can talk more about it, but that really just stuck with me. There's no law written that says you have to get angry or you have to get fearful or anything. There's no law. We don't have to feel that way. So I want to leave you with that. Hopefully you can use that today. Just think about that throughout your day today. You go to work, or you're hanging out with your family or your friends later tonight, whatever it may be. And people are going to say things or whatever that may rub you the wrong way. But there's no reason that we have to be rubbed the wrong way. There's no law that says we have to feel that way. Well, have a good day, everyone, and we'll be back in the next video, and we'll finish up this short little life-changing book. Have a great one.